Things aren't that complicated, man. If you're thirsty, have a drink. If you're tired, get some sleep. And if you're hungry for a win, you let James cook. This is the Mafia Minute where we're happy to let James cook anytime he wants to, any meal he wants to. Don't even have to show up without even letting us know. We are here for it. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. Again, this is the Mafia Minute presented by Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Thanks for checking us out. You can find us wherever your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF, on the web at mafiaminute.com. Very easy to remember, just like the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, hit the thumb. Jamie G, I'm guessing you had some fun watching that game on Thursday Night Football.
I had a blast, Mills. I mean, you always love to beat a division opponent. You even love it even more when you're dominating a division opponent, especially when it's Miami and everybody and their sisters had Miami being the team this year, right? And this one felt good, Mills, but it wasn't all good. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of injuries in the game, both for the Bills and then also obviously on the Miami side of the football.
All right, let's get to that in a second here. Let's start out with a little bit of a lighter side before we get in the dark side. We don't have a lot of news here for the Bills on parade, but we do have one uplifting thing that's going to kind of pair with the injury report here because Bills Mafia, Jamie G, they are not just committed, they are also generous. After the Tua Tagovailoa injury, which we'll get to in a minute here, the Bills Mafia did what they usually do. They showed class, they showed heart, they made a lot of donations to Tua Tagovailoa's foundation. Apparently, they think the Bills Mafia fans have made over 1,000 individual donations, totaling more than $16,000. So, just shout out to Bills Mafia once again, showing class, doing things the right way. Because, like the band said, we have an injury report here, and it's got at least two big names on it, one on each side. The first being Tua Tagovailoa, who went down with yet another concussion. He says he's not retiring, but stay tuned. It was an ugly one. And Jamie G, your guy Terrel Bernard went quickly to the blue tent, quickly to the locker room. I was very, very worried. Tell us how that's worked out so far.
Well, it was terrifying. I mean, on a defense that we already lost Milano. We lose Taron Johnson. Now all of a sudden our team the one of two team captains, right? Like he's our guy, goes down. And when it was Peck, I was just like, oh no. Blue tent immediately locker room for x-rays and then just ruled out, not coming back. I swore it was a torn pec. Luckily, we've been told updated on Monday morning or I'm sorry, updated on Friday morning and throughout the weekend here that it was a strained pectoral. That is great for us. It's just a sad world, Mills, when like as Bills fans we're like, well, at least he's not out for the season. That's like the good news, you know. He's expected to miss at least 4 weeks. Injured reserve is a real possibility here. In fact, Coach McDermott was quoted saying, Terrell Bernard's going to, be out for multiple weeks, and they're having some internal discussions regarding placing him on IR or not. They haven't done it as of today. We'll see if that happens here down the stretch, but this is a big loss. I know it's a couple of weeks, and yes, we dodged a bullet, but there's no dude. This is a big loss for us. I mean, he's a very good player. We're already down the other start. We basically the three most important things to this defense, or three of the most important things that allow us to run the defense we run. Taron Johnson gone, Matt Milano gone, and now Terrell Bernard gone. So it's a big deal. It's a problem, and it sucks. I mean, I guess we're supposed to be thankful it's not all season long, and I am thankful for that it wasn't a season ender. But damn it, dude, can we just get through a game without losing a key person?
4 weeks sounds a lot better than 16 weeks or 20 weeks or 24 weeks, but still, it is no fun, especially for a defense that's already banged up. I wonder if there was some kind of monkey paw situation where you wish for more for Von Miller sacks. You're like, all right, you're going to get the Von Miller sacks, but guess what the consequences are going to be? So, Bills Mafia, be very careful about using any random monkey paws. You might find there are unintended consequences sometime. Let's get into our game review, starting with the final score prediction from Jamie G. The actual game score was the Buffalo Bills 31, the Miami Dolphins 10. Jamie D, you said Bills 27, Dolphins 24. You were way off on the margin of victory by a full 3 touchdowns. My guess is you're not going to complain about that a lot, but you were only off by 4 points on the Bills total. So good job there. Anything you want to say here? I mean, were you taking the Tua injury out of it? You were already kind of well on your way to winning the game in emphatic fashion, I feel.
Yeah, I mean the score was the score prior to Tua, getting hurt. So I mean this was, it was late in the third when he got hurt. Bills had been dominating all game. Tua was having a very bad game. I mean, I think 3 interceptions, one for a pick six. Could have been a couple more, honestly. So I'm thrilled with how the Bills defense played. I'm thrilled with how the game turned out. It wasn't perfect, but to dominate 31-10 is great. And look, 2 weeks in a row now, the Bills scored 30 plus points. That's awesome stuff, Mills. I'd much rather be wrong with this outcome than not be.
So you're saying if this is what happens when you're wrong, you don't want to be right? Is that what you're basically saying there?
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's kind of what
All
I'm
right,
saying.
well that's a decent transition into here too, to reviewing your keys to victory for week 2. You had 4 of them. The Bills won the game. Did they win your keys to victory?
Well, let's start off here. The first one was pass defense needs to stand up, baby. And Mills, I'm considering this an absolute win. We knew we were going to be banged up going into this game without Taron Johnson. We worried how the Bills would handle the speed of the wide receivers and the backs coming out of the backfield. Again, big loss there. And even the tight end, which they struggled with a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, Miami, they were 25 of 39, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, and the defense scored. So that's an absolute win across the board. The second keys to victory was the pass rush had to get home. I'm considering this not a hard win, but a soft win, and it's not quite a tie. It's a win, but it needs improvement. Look, we had 2 sacks, we had 4 quarterback hits. When we needed it, we got those plays. Fourth down, Ed Oliver comes in and sacks Tua. Another kind of game on the line play to end a drive. Vaughn comes in, gets a sack. There was plenty of kind of critical plays at critical times, but overall, I'd like to see some improvement there. But I'm giving it a win. It's just not the hard win. It's a soft win, but a win's a win. Number 3, we talked about winning the time of possession, and this is a loss, but it still kind of worked out to be a win. Miami had 36 minutes and 19 seconds. The Bills had 23 minutes, 41 seconds. Part of that is we scored defensively and they had two drives in a row. The other part is we were really effective on offense. We forced them defensively. We forced Miami to have to put together long drives, taking away the deep shot, playing the 2 safeties in the back, and changing how they wanted to play offense. It was difficult for them, and it proved something they couldn't do consistently, which is why we did it, right? But that gave them the ball for a little bit longer because they couldn't get those huge chunk plays, whereas the Bills were pretty good at getting the chunk plays, getting good field position, things like that. And last but not least, win the kicking game. I'm going to give this a soft loss. It's not a hard loss, but I don't feel right giving it a win. Look, the Bills didn't give up the return. That aspect of the kicking game was much better. Kicking in Miami, a little bit different than kicking in Western New York. It was pretty easy to put the thing out of bounds or put it where you wanted it without any wind, without any weather elements. So I'll give Bass credit that, but he was only 1 for 2 on the field goal, hitting from 43 and missing horribly from 45. We need him to be better, man. I understand you can't be perfect, can't be automatic, but anything within 50, I think he should make. And he's got the leg for it. He was in a stadium of virtually no conditions. Might as well have been a dome. You got to hit that, man. So overall, 2-2, but dominating Bills win, so you can live with it.
What do you think, man? Any chance that the Bills try to send a little bit of a wake-up call here? Maybe bring a couple kickers in for workouts this week?
I would love it if they did, but I just don't think they're at that point yet. I think they're trying to handle this internally, trying to build up the guy's confidence. They paid him. He's getting paid. So there's some contract stuff there too. They're missing 2 starting linebackers. They've got some other concerns outside of kicker. I think it's a tad too early, and they got bigger fish to fry, but it's concerning.
Yeah, you don't want that to go from a minor problem. You don't want it to go from the back burner to the front burner. Definitely something that, you don't want to let it get out of hand because it's already it feels like he's really iffy over 50 now. So then he does need to be automatic on those shorter kicks. So something to keep an eye on. And JBG, we had you coming in hot with a couple of predictions. And again, I don't think you really nailed all of them, but my guess is you're not going to really mind, right?
I really don't care because the win's the win, but we do got to go through this. Look, my mild was I had Josh Allen 1.5 plus passing touchdowns. He got the one on a beautifully executed fourth down conversion to James Cook, his first touchdown of the day. It was awesome, but he didn't get the second one, and part of that was because of the way they controlled the line of scrimmage and ran the football. They didn't really need to. He almost had another one on to Ty Johnson. Honestly, it was about a half yard short, but didn't get it. My medium prediction was Keon Coleman's first NFL touchdown. He didn't get anything. He failed to reel in his only target of the day, where the Bills they only attempted 19 passes. He got one of them, didn't come down with it. It wasn't a Keon Coleman day. It was a James Cook day, and hot. My hot one was the Bills get the win, and baby, the hot ones are the best ones. Am I right or am I right? We got the dub. That's all that matters. A win's a win.
A win's a win. The scoreboard, the standings, they do not know the difference, let me tell you. How about some surprises, Jamie G? Give me a good surprise on offense, good surprise on defense from the game.
I thought we were better with penalties on the offensive line, and I'll tell you, I was really surprised how well we were able to run the football. And we're not doing anything complicated. It's inside zone. It's our normal run scheme, but the way the interior of the offensive line is dominating, I really got to give them a lot of credit with the running game here. I mean, we didn't. I don't think Josh was as limited as maybe everyone thought. I know he had the glove, he had everything going on. It was glove love, but I think he probably could have did more. We just really didn't need him to. And I really honestly believe it's not like, hey, we were worried about what to do with Josh. It's, hey, we think we can win running the football, and they did. And that was just really surprising. I thought they were going to need to pass the football to keep up with, the Dolphins being able to move the football and score. I was surprised with how that unfolded. And then defensively, I'm really surprised with how well the game plan was and how well the Bills defense executed it. I got to give the credit here to McDermott. McDermott has consistently outcoached Mike McDaniel since Mike McDaniel's got to Miami. And I'm just going to say that for what it is. He's supposed to be this offensive minded genius. And to his credit him, he's had a lot of success. He has not had any of that success against the Bills. The Bills defense has continually been able to slow them down, win these games, and they've won them in big fashion. I mean, they're not all ass whooping dominators, but a lot of them have been, dude. So I really got to give McDermott credit here. And look, we were without Taron Johnson. We're playing guys that aren't household names. We bring in our third string linebacker here. Baylor Spector, kid we drafted out of Clemson in seventh round, I think a couple of years ago. He's been banged up. We didn't really get to see him in the preseason. He steps in, he played pretty well, particularly in the run game, defending the run. So really, really surprised with the defense. Basically said, hey, you can beat us passing the football, so we're not going to let you pass the football. You're going to have to run the football, and we're going to rally to the football, and you're not going to get anywhere. And it worked basically all game. So really surprised with that.
And some nice happy surprises there. And let's be honest, I don't think there were probably a lot of bad surprises in this one for the Bills, discounting the injury issue. That's not really
Yeah.
a surprise. That's just injuries happen. Any kind of bad surprises on either side of the ball here?
I worry that as we face better teams, better defenses, we're not going to get by with what we did this week. But I think that's more of a Bills fan anxiety than it is an actual hit the button on concern. I want to see some of these receivers outside of Khalil Shakir really step up, and he's been the only one who's been consistent the first two games. We haven't gotten a Curtis Samuel situation yet. Keon Coleman flashed in game one, but we really haven't seen him take over. And we really haven't seen Dalton Kincaid, kind of have the game that we expect. So I want to see some more, volume out of these weapons. But at the same time, we're 2-0, we're winning. We didn't need to, we didn't need to do that in this game. But I just think eventually the Bills are going to get tested and they got to have answers.
Yeah, and well, the answer to the test will usually be Josh Allen, and so that's why when you get a chance to give him a day off, you let James cook. You let someone else handle duties in the kitchen for once. Anything else here on the matchup that stands out to you? Anything else on the game?
You're worried if about Miami here. If you're a Miami fan, sorry, Miami fans. I think it's troubling for them. But as far as the Bills go, look, man, they went on prime time. Josh Allen's now 7-0 on Thursday Night Football. They went on prime time. They traveled. They brought their defense. They brought their run game, and they put a dominant performance against a division rival, and basically said, "Hey, we're still here. This is the division still runs through us until otherwise." So I really give them a lot of credit for showing up on a short week and being able to have that type of game and overcome some of the adversity that they had to in that game. So and I'll just say, shout out to Bills players, just absolute class acts regarding the Tua injury, and Bills fans obviously donating to his foundation. But I thought every Bills player was super classy in that injury, and even as somebody who hates the Dolphins, you never want to see. I'm tired of seeing Tua have that injury, man. Like it sucks. Like it makes me sad seeing that. Like I don't want that for any player, whether they're a rival or not.
Yeah, it's a rough physical game, but yeah, that's real scary, man. It's a different kind of scary than your broken leg or something like that. You know what I mean? No one wants to see a
Right.
Theismann thing or an Alex Smith thing, but it's just seeing someone like that. Just, whew, it definitely is a thing. And let's do a thing that's a little bit more fun, Jamie G. How about you give us your Mafia moment from this week 2 victory? Your favorite moment of the game, the Mafia moment.
Man, there's so many good ones to choose from. I can't, look, Jamarcus Ingram is worthy on that pick six. It was awesome. But I've got to go with James Cook here. I'm going to go with the long run, Mills, the third touchdown of the day for Mr. Cook, only because it was up the middle. He demonstrated incredible patience, vision, and then the burst that makes him elite. And yes, I think James Cook is elite in this league. And it was just a little bit of extra joy to my heart as I saw Jordan Poyer take a bad angle, not be able to have the speed to catch up to him, dive, eat a dirt sandwich, come up with the thing, and now the Bills are kicking your ass, Poyer. That's what you get for going to a division rival and saying, oh, you're going to spill all the secrets. 31-10. Shout out James Cook, his third touchdown of the game, outrunning Jordan Poyer. Mafia moment for sure.
Shout out James Cook. He's very comfortable on the field. Also, would be very comfortable in the world of Demolition Man because he inspires joy feelings and all of those around him, apparently. Let's move on to our Mafia MVP, Jamie G. Who is the MVP from that week 2 victory? I think I know who it is, but will you throw us a curveball?
No, it's James Cook. He absolutely deserves. You gotta love it, man. Grew up outside of the area there in Miami. Had about 40 plus in the house of his family and friends cheering him on. Dude balled out. I mean, he had a day, bro. He had an absolute day. And yeah, how could it not be James Cook? He in NFL world, he better be AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Period.
Period. I think that's a good one. You are lucky that Alvin Kamara does play in the NFC because it could have been a little bit of a whole touchdown showdown, but we don't have to worry about that. We do, however, have to worry about the results of our Bills bets. We threw some bets out there trying to help y'all make some money. Jamie G, I think we did a decent job. I had James Cook over 86.5 rushing plus receiving yards, minus 115. If you would put 100 Bills bucks on that, you would have got about 187 coming back. Jamie G, you showed some faith. You had the Buffalo Bills plus 3.5, alternate line minus 160. They covered that easily and then some. So if you thrown 100 bucks on that, you would have got 162.50 coming back. We had a three
Keep the
leg
points, baby.
We had a 3 leg single game parlay, our tripod here. We hit the one in week 1. We did not get there in week 2. We hit the Khalil Shakir over 3.5 receptions leg, but we missed on anytime touchdowns for Josh Allen and Keon Coleman because nobody else outside of James Cook needed to score. On the season, I'm down about 13 Bills bucks. I'm 1 for 2. Jamie G, you're up about 137 Bills bucks. You are 2 for 2. We're up $1,000 on our tripods. We are 1 for 2 on those. So if you were just riding every wager we've made so far with 100 bucks, you would be up $1,123.52 on the year. We like that. We're proud of that. Not as proud of our results for our Draftkings picks last week for our draft Joshes, mostly because we were pretty much on Josh Allen and his pass catchers and the Dolphins passing game, especially Tyreek Hill. None of that mattered. It was all James Cook all the time. You needed the James Cook at the cap in, throw in Achan, Bills D, Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir, Jonnu Smith. You had a stew going that would have won you a lot of money. But I think this is just an odd game. Happens a lot on these short weeks. I don't think we can take a lot away from this. You can't expect James Cook to do this every week, nor will you expect Josh Allen to only attempt 19 passes and not really even get that many looks at the goal line. Just didn't need to happen that way. Jamie G, any thoughts on the bets of the DraftKings picks?
Yeah, look, I thought our favorite bets of the week were, I mean, now, talking about 2 for 2 here. I mean, these are good bets. They both hit. And they weren't crazy odds or anything. They were really good. I thought the tripod, I still stand by that as a really good tripod. And it won't surprise me if we do that lineup again and it hits at some point in the season. I still think that was the right idea because, again, we thought the game would unfold a little bit different, as I think everyone thought that the game would unfold a little bit different. Everyone outside of the Bills locker room will say that. But no, I think that was a lot of fun. Excited about week 3. I think there's going to be plenty of good bets there for us as well.
All right, and we're going to close out the episode with one of our favorite bits, the Mafia Mannequin. If you've
Oh
ever
yeah.
seen the movie Major League, it's kind of the reverse of this. We started out with basically a naked mannequin. He had himself some Bills boxer shorts. That's about it. Every time the Bills get a victory, we get to put something on him, give him an accessory, do something fun. After week 1, we gave him a cool pair of aviator shades, looking like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Jamie G, what are we putting on him this week after the victory?
Well, Mills, we went down to Miami. We had the shades because our future's so bright. You got to wear them. But while we were down there, we dominated. We won. We mixed with a couple of mommies. We did the whole thing, baby. We came back with a little bling. We're putting a diamond studded chain on him. He's going to blend in. He can go to Miami anytime he wants because the Bills, they own that city, baby.
I remember back there used to be a lingerie football league. I would have just loved to have seen a matchup between the Mafia Mommies and the Miami Mommies. I would have liked to see the clash of the Mommies. I think that would have been a really cool one there. And that was a real thing. I believe Mark Rippon's daughter was like the star quarterback, former Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Washington Commanders there. Yeah, he was a guy. He was a thing, and this was the Mafia. That's a thing. The Mafia Minute. Next week, Jamie G, your Bills are facing off against the Jaguars at home, looking to be almost an early season must win for the Jags all of a sudden. So we will be back with that in a couple of days. Anything else you want to add as far as closing out the Miami matchup or getting into this Jacksonville matchup?
Look, man, we went down there, we took care of business, we got the win. We got 11 days here. Let's see how healthy this team can be. Let's see if Josh can get rid of that glove and maybe, not have that distraction. Even though it didn't really affect anything, let's just see if we can get by that, see if we can get some rest, get some healthy, put together an outstanding game plan and go against a desperate Jacksonville team that the Bills have struggled with the last couple of years. I'm really excited. Monday Night Football in Orchard Park, baby. It's going to be electric. We'll be back real soon to break it down right here in the Mafia Minute.
Boogie, woogie, oogie, oogie. It's going to be electric, just like the Mafia Minute. Thanks again for checking us out. Presented by Season Gap Fantasy Football. Once again, you can find us wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, on social media at Season Gap FF. Same place on the web. Thank you for remembering all that, and thank you for remembering the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. It's all there is to it. If you had fun, please remember to hit the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. He's going to get you hype about this Bills game against the Jaguars because, like you mentioned, there's probably a little bit of revenge here, right? I think Bills Mafia remembers last year, and I'm not saying they want blood, but Jamie G, there will be blood.
Let's go, Buffalo. Enjoy the win. Get ready for Monday Night Football. We'll see you right here real soon on the Mafia Minute. Go Bills.